Hey, good morning and welcome. Patriot Radio News Hour on this Thursday. We're closing in to surviving another week. Of course, I'm Joe Jakeman, CEO of the Patriot Trading Group. And if you don't know it by now, yeah, maybe you'll never know it. The legal, lawful, constitutional, something that's been money for thousands of years, gold and silver. We physically deliver it right to you. The website at allamericangold.com. And again, a record-breaking January for the Patriot Trading Group. The business has been, it just doesn't stop. And, of course, think about all the nonsense going out there. I got a great show lined up for you today. I want to tell you, we know, listen, freedom's under assault, period. And I don't care. You pick the First Amendment, Second Amendment, right? I mean, go right on down the list. Something that isn't going to be in the news, right? It's not talking about a Twitter ban, right? Or blocking on YouTube or deplatforming. Little something happened in the banking industry today. I'll tell you about that. We're going to talk about the jump in food stamp spending. Numbers are starting to roll out. We're also going to spend some time for those of you that are new, and I know there's so many of you now that are paying more attention now. Maybe it was a friend, a relative, whoever it may be, telling you to tune in, or you got to get some gold and silver put away, and you kind of know you do, but it's confusing. Right? The internet's a great thing and a bad thing all at the same time, right? And we kind of just look at like social media and all that stuff. So we'll spend some time today educating people, especially those that are new and questions. I had a new customer come in yesterday. And he was just a straight referral, and he called and took our advice, but had a lot of questions, and so I'll go through a lot of those because it's something where from time to time it's always good to do. So we'll do all of those things in this hour. It's going to be jam packed, going to move quickly along, but I got to tell you, just a crazy day and week here. You know, I'm a small business owner, right? I've got, I don't know how many employees now. It grows, 10 or 12. I think we're up to 12 employees. And you know, you gotta, it's January. You gotta get the 1099s out and all that stuff. And we have QuickBooks. And my wife goes to me, and this was last week. She says, "Yeah, I can't get the 1099s from QuickBooks." I'm like, "What do you mean?" "Well, they're saying our QuickBook version's too old and we need to get the new version." I think we're still on the 2016 QuickBooks, but the 2021, oh, okay, all right. Well, it's how they make their money, right? You got to pay to get the new one. We've gone 5 years, so I guess, they need to make another, and I don't know how much it costs and whatever it may be. Then she comes back to me and says, "Can't get it. We got to buy a new computer." And I'm like, "What? Why? What are you talking?" She goes, "Well, our computer apparently is too old, and the new QuickBooks won't support it." Yes, and I guess, and again, if you take care of your stuff, and you don't download porn, computers will last a long time. We were running Windows 7. That was not supported. So now we have a brand new spanking computer in the main lobby. So just so we could get the 1099, so we could have people so they can file for their taxes, do all that stuff. Yeah, the whole thing set us back over $1,000 just to get it done. I mean, it's crazy. All these little things, but that's just how it is, right? You got to, then of course you got to buy all the new stuff. Well, you got to get Office put on there, right? So we got this and that. You got to buy that. You got to get the security protection, and by the time you're said and done, plus labor, you're looking at $2,000 just so you can file taxes. It's just crazy. And then my wife and we had a collision through the hallway door. She was coming in, I was going out. Coffee everywhere. It was a great morning. I got pickleball today. I'm fired up about it. And I'm going to tell you, and I know I've been telling you about our CBD products, at 1360khnc.com. And thank you guys. It's the best. And I keep saying, I don't want to say life-changing. I don't want to make any of these things. But let me tell you, a day like today, before I started taking CBD, I take 4 Advil before the pickleball match. I take 4 more when I got home. I take 4 more the next morning after I wake up. And a lot of times I take 4 more after I got off of work because, that was, I'm old. My body's beat up. I don't do that. I don't take any. Matter of fact, the only time I take Advil now is when I've drank too many pitchers of beer. Otherwise, it's fantastic. It really, really is. As you get older, I just think it's a great way. You stop taking all the pills and all that stuff, and it's so easy. The tincture, you put it right under your tongue, and boom. And for me, I've got my knee's not good. I need a new one. So before pickleball, I'll take the salve and put it on my knee, and just life-altering. Just check it out. And here's the thing. Listen, this is the best product around. Everything's lab certified, no chemicals, none of that stuff. We're half the price of anybody else. 1360 KHNC, hit the shopping cart button. Listen, it helped me. I know it will help you. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be right back after the break. 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour. And this administration, it's everything we feared and more. When you think about why are people so upset, and this is why. You start thinking about all the executive orders and all the things. You just put 20,000 plus people out of work in 48 hours through executive order. People that were actually working. People working on the border wall, pack your crap up and leave. Not to mention, these contractors we had contracts. So now the government, not only is the wall not going to get built, all the people there lost their jobs, but the companies get paid along with penalties for canceling of the contract. The pipeline. I think there's 11,000 oil workers. Literally one day. They were working, right? They were working on Tuesday. On Wednesday, you're out of a job. And then they've got the audacity to come out and tell, they can work in solar power. They can work on wind turbines. Really? So let's just, first of all, pretend. Let's just pretend that there's actually a solar panel company or a wind turbine company in the city that these people just lost their jobs in. Okay? Let's just pretend that that's even a reality. So you lost your job yesterday. Right? You go in and also we gotta, since we're in make-believe, let's really jazz it up. Okay. These companies are actually hiring, okay? Now I know another 850,000 people had to file for unemployment for the first time this week. Okay? But let's just pretend, again, we're pretending, because the Democrats said it. They even went out on TV to say it. It's okay that we fired these people. They get these other jobs. So again, I'm trying to be a good socialist. Oh, okay. Well, it must be true. I read it on the internet. It's got to be true. So they're in the right place, right? So wherever they got laid off in and wherever they were working, there's the solar power company and the wind turbine company. They're there as well, and they got a big sign now hiring. So you go in there and you fill out your application and right you get in front of the HR person and they're like looking over your work history. What experience do you have with electricity and solar power? None. Oh, do you have any experience in wind turbines and maintenance of wind? No. Oh, well, thank you for coming. Appreciate it. We'll get back to you. Right? And what happens? As soon as you leave, boom, that resume's in the trash. I mean, it's idiocracy at its finest. And then you hear things like, well, yes, I'll give you a great example. So yesterday, I'm talking to Bradley Dean. For those of you that don't listen to 1360 KHNC, I don't know why you don't. You can listen to it on your phone. You can listen to it on your computer. You don't even have to be in Colorado to listen to us. Bradley Dean does the Sons of Liberty. He's on every day, Monday through Friday, from 8 to 9 o'clock. You should really listen. He's fantastic. And he has a ministry. And he's been deplatformed. Right, YouTube and Twitter, the whole, even the sites that were saying, oh no, we're not gonna deplatform. They deplatform, and these were people's livelihoods. This guy had thousands and tens of hundreds of thousands of people. One show, just one show would have 30, 40, 50,000 downloads. In a matter of, the second it went up. And we were talking about how all of a sudden we are under attack. Everything that this country stood for is under attack. And I come into work this morning and I do the usual thing. I go to all my places, check out this and that, and getting ready to do the show. Thinking about Bradley Dean. Thinking about how important a station like 1360 is, right? How about KXXT allowing me to be on? The office of the comptroller of the currency. Who? Right? You don't need to know about this. Nobody knows about this. But they publish something that's called Fair Access to Financial Services. This was a rule that they wanted to put in place because the big banks were rejecting people simply based on the fact that I don't like what you do. I don't like what you stand for. In other words, hey, you're qualified. You got a good bit. You know what? I don't want to deal with you. I don't like you. Right? Discrimination. Let's call it what it is. Discrimination. And they said that they did it to allow the next confirmed comptroller of the currency to decide. Right? Hey, we're going to let Joe Biden's administration decide. The rule was supposed to subject the largest banks. So, in large one, you had to have at least $100 billion in assets to be in this rule. Okay, which, by the way, is almost all the banks. 100 billion's nothing now anymore. When they deny services to any customer based on risk factors that can't be quantified. In other words, you rejected somebody that shouldn't have been rejected. right? Remember, we've got laws, right, against all that stuff, right? Hey, you can't reject a person because of the color of their skin, right? You can't reject a person because of their gender, blah, blah, blah. Same thing. Such as environmental, social, and government risk, as well as reputational risk. And what they're talking about specifically, and you're trying to, okay, well, what does that mean? Who was it that the government was trying to protect us from these predator banks? And what they were, why they specifically came up with this law. Had to do with industries such as energy. Think about this. Oh, what do? Oh, you're in the coal business? I don't like you. I don't care what your balance sheet looks like. No thanks, right? Oh, wait, you're in oil? Oh. Nah, you want to drill where? Oh, wait, you want a loan to drill? You got a lease in the Arctic? No thanks. Arms manufacturing, right? We know what they've done to the gun manufacturers. Agriculture. And well, I guess now they're saying, hey, you know what? That's okay. We don't care about you. You do something we don't like. And I'm thinking to myself, this is what we're going to see happen everywhere. It's going to simply be, it's almost like, we used to talk about in China, the social credit score. The Chinese deem you to be a bad citizen, right? You say bad things about the party. Well, we'll just take care of that, won't we? Right? Yeah, you're not going to be able to do anything. And this is one of those things, again, you're not going to hear about it. They're not going to talk about it. But that's why you listen to this show. Right? The Congress needs to act. You don't have the right, at least I didn't think you had the right in this country, to discriminate. Right? Either you're qualified or you're not. Right? Hey, maybe you don't like the First Amendment. Maybe you don't like the Second Amendment. Maybe you don't like my political views. But as a bank, if I meet the requirements, I should be able to get access to banking. And this isn't just about loans. This is about accounts. I mean, you've got banks literally throwing out customers for nothing other than, well, I just don't like what you do. And now the new administration is like, yeah, we kind of like that. And you start to think about what else do they want to control. I mean, do you liberals really think that's a good idea? Really? Right? We're going to go back. I know, right? We're banning books, right? Book burning parties and can't read that and all of that stuff. And it's something that is going to cause revolution. It will. It absolutely will. This isn't freedom. This doesn't lead to prosperity. Like I said, in the last 48 hours, 20,000 people lost their jobs through executive action. And you know what they said? We don't like what you do. So you're fired. But hey, even though you're not qualified at all in any way, shape, or form, you can get another job in these industries. And this is what we're up against, and this is the frustration, and this is what happens. Listen, this is just the more reliant upon government we become, the more freedoms are going to be lost. And they'll always say, oh, it's for the good, it's for the greater good. Whose greater good? And who are you to decide what that is? And of course, I'm going to tell you, right, if you liked $2 gasoline, right, yeah, get ready. We're probably never going to see it again. Right? If you liked, if you're an economy that relied on the oil industry, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. I just saw a headline pop up that General Motors is saying that they're going to stop producing gasoline cars by 2035. And I'm only laughing because how are we going to maintain these roads? You know how roads get maintained? I don't know if people know this. When you fill up your car with gasoline, if they collect a tax that's supposed to pay for this stuff, what do you think the cost of electricity is going to be when everybody comes home from work at 5 o'clock and everybody plugs their car in? And it's 118 degrees out in the Valley of the Sun. 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour, and learning now that the Biden administration is going to scrap a rule that was going to prevent banks from not loaning money to businesses and individuals that they didn't like. Maybe they didn't like the field that they were in, right? They were going to be able to essentially allowing discrimination. And they said, yeah, that's okay. How do you like this vote? Really? 80 million of you really voted for this clown? I doubt it. Federal spending on the country's largest nutrition assistance program. We call it food stamps, known as SNAP. Increased by 50% in 2020, according to the Department of Agriculture. Now, there's other food programs. This isn't the only one, but it is by far the biggest one. In 2019, we spent $60 billion in food aid to people in this country. I don't think we can afford to be throwing away any jobs right now. According to the Department of Agriculture, 2020, we spent $90 billion. Now, they're saying that in the SNAP program, and this isn't the only program, there was 36 million people in it in 2019. And I think overall, there was 38 or 39 million people getting food assistance of some sort at the federal level. State level could be more. They're now saying that 2020, that number jumped by 8 million more people. They're now saying 44 million individuals are on the program. And what I don't like about it says individuals. And I don't know if you're let's just say you're the head of the household. So you're on the program. Does that mean your kids, do they count as part of the program? I don't know. I'm hoping that's the case. Like whoever, if one person's on it, the whole house is on it. Otherwise, how many people are we talking about? They said that the average monthly benefit is now $161 a month. So, you start, just doing some math, and you're like, okay, well, 161 a month, there's 44 million people on that program. That's about $85 billion. right, over a 12-month period. And, of course, that tells you there's actually a little over 44 million people in the program. And you start scratching your head. And you start really thinking about, what are we talking about here? One out of 6? 1 out of 7 people are on food assistance? I mean, just think about how many people live in your house. How about your neighbor? How many people live there? Well, if you got 3 and they've got 4, one person's on food stamps. How many people live on your street? How many people live in the high-rise apartment building? Right? And you just start thinking, on average, okay, 1 out of 6, 1 out of 7 of you is getting food assistance. And if you're on food assistance, you're probably on what? All kinds of other assistance. It's absolutely mind-blowing when you sit there and start thinking about it. Kimberly-Clark, they make, they're in your grocery store, paper towels, right, toilet paper, says that low and declining U.S. birth rates is starting to threaten their diaper business. Uh-oh. Well, I guess that's all the more reason, right, to allow all the illegals to flow through the country. And again, this is, part of what happens. Can't afford it. Who can afford to have kids? Right? You're already on food assistance as it is. I mean, this is the American dream they're talking about. And Jay Powell came out yesterday and tried to tell everybody, hey, everything's wonderful. Don't worry. And we're on top of it. And we're doing a good job. And all of this other nonsense. The numbers don't back it up. The numbers don't back it up at all. Well, I mean, look at the gold markets today. Gold's up $10, $12. Silver's up $1.25. And this is right after the Fed announcement. This ought to tell you, listen, get ready. Buckle up. There's a lot more spending coming. There's these policies now. We're starting to watch the Democrats. And again, they say they want unity. They say they want to do everything by the book, and yet they do the exact opposite. Nobody signed more executive orders than Joe Biden in the first. I mean, he's only been in office, a week? He's already has thousands of people out of work. Literally signed a bill that if I'm not a person of color, but if I was a person of color, I'd been insulted. You want to help people? You really want to help people? Get them out of the government schools. That's how you help them. Let me tell you right now, I look at COVID as a great example, right? The teachers at these public, they don't want to teach. They don't want to educate the kids. They don't care. Let them commit suicide. They don't care about their mental health. They don't care about their mental well-being. They don't care about their education. How many people are trying to get out of there, just finding a place so their kids can go and learn? It's just... it's incredibly frustrating. But again, this is why we're here. Why do you think we're having the busiest months ever? There's a reason. Everyone, you all get it. When we come back, we're going to spend the next section. We're going to talk about, for those of you that are new to the business, I mean, maybe some of you aren't that new, but we're going to answer a lot of what I'll call the most frequently asked questions by people that are new to gold, they're new to silver. They know that they need to invest. They know what's happening. They see what's going on with the dollar. They see what's going on with the Federal Reserve. They see what's going on with the banking industry. And they know they need to do something, but it's overwhelming. We're going to talk about that next. Patriot Radio News Hour. Don't touch that dial. Well, I'll go quickly here. So many things all happening here at once. If I need to, I'll take the next segment as well to talk about for all you new listeners. But I need to make a couple of things. I just got Word from our engineer at 1360. Looks like we finally got the third tower working properly. We should have it put back together by 2 o'clock today, this evening. I'm going to ask all you nighttime listeners at 1360, turn it on. Not on the computer, because it'll work fine on the computer or your phone, but the terrestrial radio, the old school radio. And just send us an email. Let us know where you're at. And if you can hear it, if it's better or worse, it should be hopefully better and a lot better. But will help us. Our antenna monitor is up and running, and we're going to get this nighttime signal finally put back into proper alignment. So for those of you out there on the 1360, all the way, Wyoming, Colorado, Nebraska, let us know where you were trying to tune us in, right? And this is after the sun goes down, so like 5 o'clock even. You can start tuning in and letting us know, and we should have that thing. We should be back to where we need to be here very, very shortly. And then how about this? And I don't know, and I haven't talked about it. Have you been following what's going on with GameStop, the video store, and AMC, the movie theater chain? If you haven't, these are two very heavily shorted stocks by Wall Street. And through social media, they got individual small little investors to start buying up the stock. And it has caused massive losses to these hedge funds because they were so short. And I mean, the prices have gone ridiculous. Like AMC, I think at one point was like $14. And it's really a stock that's probably, maybe worth, I don't know, $1, just to kind of give you perspective. This morning, these places like Robinhood, these trading app places, started preventing people from buying it. Hey, you can't buy that stock today. Now, we don't like it. What? What do you mean? If they want to buy it, they should. It's a publicly traded company. Wait, why do you care that stock? So it's okay that Tesla is overvalued? Let me give you some perspective. Tesla made for the whole year. And again, without government handouts, Tesla didn't make any money. They made it by all selling carbon credits. But they only made $170 million. They've got a market cap of like $18 billion. Talk about overvalued. And now Nancy Pelosi says Congress is going to be scrutinizing what's going on with these companies. And of course, what did they do today? The stocks are getting crushed, right? Because they won't let other people buy the stock. Right? And I'm sure there are several big banks that were getting ready to lose a boatload of money. But it's just ridiculous now. This is what we're up against. This is what we're up against. And this is why you need to have money put away. Because believe me, remember, I've already told you about the rules. I've already told you about the rules. What happened in the financial crisis, they're going to make sure that doesn't happen again. Right? Right now, let's face it, the central bank is keeping the banks alive. Right? We all know that. I don't have any money. And all the money they have loaned out, nobody's paying on it. But when the next crash comes, you can't sell your money market. Won't be able to sell your IRA or your 401k. You're not going to be able to go on your Robinhood or your Charles Schwab account or any other and sell. They've already put the rule in place. It's there. Hey, anytime we deem it a risk, we'll prevent selling. Look at what just happened. We're going to prevent buying. Yep. Going to make you take these losses. You're going to sell or get out. This is what's coming. This is why you need to be prepared. So let's talk about gold. Primarily, we'll talk gold, silver too. I get this question a lot about what's the carats. How many carats is it? Because you hear that in the jewelry industry. 24, is it 24 karat? So first of all, I'll say this. Nobody cares what the carat is. How many ounces is it? That's how you do gold. Is it a 1 ounce? Is it a half ounce? Is it a quarter ounce? 24 karat gold coins or even a gold bar. They exist. They do. In limited numbers. They're like novelty items. 24 karat gold or pure gold is so soft that just stacking two 24 karat gold coins on top of each other scratches them both. Ruins it. But when you talk about carats, that doesn't apply to the gold industry. The question you need to ask is how many ounces? Is it 1 ounce? Is it a half ounce? Is it a quarter ounce? And quite honestly, you don't really want a 24 karat coin because it's not gonna hold up very well over time. When we get back, we'll talk more about other questions. 800-951-0592. Watching GameStop now down almost 60%. They've taken they got up to over $500. It was hurting Wall Street. It was hurting the hedge funds. They'd lost a ton of money, and now they fixed it. Screw the individual. Listen, that's all you need to know. There's a great example. Here we are. I mean, stocks are at near all-time record highs. Right? Overvalued by every metrics on the face of the earth. But the second it does something to damage Wall Street, no, can't have that. What do you think is going to happen when the whole thing crashes? What do you think is going to happen to you and your money? I'm telling you. They're not selling. They're not going to allow you to. You're going to have to take a bite like everybody else on a big-ass one. Anyway, back to gold. So carats don't matter. And a matter of fact, you don't want 24 karat. Unless it's encapsulated right in a hard plastic case, you don't want to touch them. I don't want to touch them. Another questions that we get asked a lot. Well, I'm on the internet. And I see somebody selling. They're going to sell me a 1 ounce of pure silver for $18. Right, and silver's right now $26.50. That's the spot price. If it's too good to be true, it's a scam. Period. They tell me I can store my IRA in gold at my house. Scam. You can go out, we know, you can find anything on the internet, right? Deal with reputable dealers. Hopefully that's me. Right? That's what I would like. You know what? I hope you appreciate the show and the information we put out, and I hope you think that has value. And I've said this a million times. You can always find somebody to sell it to you for a little less. Deal with dealers you can trust. This is our 25th year, and we haven't had one complaint to the Better Business Bureau, not one. That tells you something. I don't have fake reviews. I don't even ask for. If I ask people to do reviews for me, I'd have thousands of them. We don't need reviews for doing our job well. Don't need them. We're going to treat you honestly. We're going to treat you fairly. We're going to make sure you get the right gold, the right silver. And here at Patriot, the right gold and the right silver is the ones that you can buy it, sell it, trade it, not have to worry about giving out your Social Security number, not having to worry about 1099s, not having to worry about anything. Because we think that's important here. 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour. Call us. We can help you. We'll be back tomorrow. Take care. God bless everybody. Hey, here's the good news. It's Friday tomorrow.